Coach, if you could first start off by giving us an overview, kind of your expectations for the upcoming season.
Sure. Obviously, Mountain View football. We're getting ready to go into our fourth year varsity competition, our fifth year in existence, and as you know, in Region 7, 6A, that's always a tough endeavor, no matter who you are. And we're trying to build on a 3-7 campaign last year, which didn't meet any of our expectations, but real excited about some of the guys we got coming back this year. Excited about some of the tweaks we're doing to offensive and defensive schemes. And really excited about our rising sophomore group. We got a lot of really good, talented kids that are competing for some backup spots and help give us some depth. So,
cool. Could you introduce your two players and kind of tell us a little bit about them, please?
Sure thing. I got Kylan Whitner. He's number 25 for us, who plays wide receiver and defensive back. Kylan was a second-team All-Region performer as a DB as a sophomore last year. He will be a junior this year. And then we have Colton Brindle, and Colton was one of the leading tacklers on our team last year. He will be a safety and a running back for us, and he will be a senior.
And then the two players, same question as Coach Ciccone, just your thoughts and expectations for the upcoming season.
Our expectations are lower than any of the other teams out here. You know, we expect to go out and win every game. We don't want to just go out and compete anymore. We're worried about winning now. You know, we got to change the way other people think about us, but first we got to change the way we think about ourselves. So, you know, we don't want to just compete anymore. We want to win.
And you know, this season we're really focusing on ourselves, not worrying about what other teams are doing, but what we're doing, and just competing. That's the main goal of our offseason, was competing with each other, so we know how to go out on Friday nights and compete with other teams, because this is the toughest region in the state.
This question is for Coach Ciccone. As you mentioned, this is the 5th year of the program, 4th year playing in varsity. Has it gotten to the point now where you can't use the excuse anymore that you guys are a new program, that you're a new school? I mean, you've been around 5 years now. Teams from Gwinnett have shown in the past, you know, that you can be successful at an early age. Has it gotten to that point now where you really can't, you know, fall on that anymore, and it's time to, you know, see some different results?
Yeah, and that's interesting you bring that up, because that's something we talked about in the offseason. You know, we went 3-7 last year and didn't meet our expectations. I've been very blessed at the college and high school level to be around some really good programs at Georgia Southern and at Grayson, and was very fortunate to be at Grayson when we started to make that transition from being, I think my first year they were 4-6, and then we went 6-6 and went to the second round of the playoffs the next year, and drawing on some of those experiences and talking to our kids about reprogramming the computer, quit making excuses, and we need to show up and we need to get better and we need to be more competitive. And obviously it's a process. You know, you want to win every Friday night, and that's ultimately our goal, and, you know, make the playoffs and eventually go to a state championship. I don't know why you'd be in this business if that wasn't your ultimate goal, but you also have to realize that before you get to the top, you got to climb some steps. And that's what we've tried to focus on, making ourselves more fundamentally sound, tweaking schemes to maximize our personnel, and giving ourselves the flexibility to do some things year in and year out based on who we have, and just really kind of changing the mentality of our kids, that we're not going to be happy with just competing. We want to win, but ultimately we want to worry about ourselves. And are we playing our best game? Are we bringing all our talents? Are we doing all our things regardless of what the scoreboard says or the newspapers say or whatnot? Are we really focused on us and making ourselves better?
You guys put in a new offense, or a different variation of the offense. Talk to us about that. What you've seen different spring-wise and during the summer, and that's pretty cool.
You know, as you know, last year we were primarily an option-based offense. We're trying to be a little more multiple. I would classify us as a multiple spread team, trying to be a lot more balanced than we were last year, and really trying to look at the kids that we have in our program and trying to do things to maximize those talents. Now, obviously, people that follow us, they know we're trying to replace our quarterback. We've got a pretty good battle going on there between a senior and 2 rising sophomores. We're trying to replace our all-time leading rusher, Marvin Elam, who's at Charleston University in West Virginia, after being a 1,000-yard rusher last year. And then also looking at our kicking game and trying to replace a kicker from last year. The nice thing is, in our offseason, we had a couple injuries last year, and we're getting those guys back. Edwin Alvarenga was one of our top offensive linemen. We lost him before the season. And Aaron McGill was a solid contributor for us on defensive line and also an offense, and we're getting him back as well.
What about defensively? Does it look a little better on that side of the ball?
Defensively, basically I've went from being the administrative head coach to going back to being heavily involved in defense. I will co-DC that with Nick Bach, a new hire for me coming from the college ranks. And we'll be basically a multiple odd front team, very pressure oriented, and I'm excited about going back to doing what I like to do as a coach instead of just being a manager all the time. Jason Turner has taken over our offense and done a wonderful job implementing a new scheme this year. Real excited about the steps we've taken with the offense and being more balanced and being a little more up-tempo.
The two players you brought, where do they stand recruiting-wise? Do they have any offers? And also, who would be your top recruited player?
Right now, Kylan, as a rising junior, has a ton of people talking to him. He's been invited to several camps this year. We're really excited about the possibilities for him in the immediate future, even as a junior. Colton is a guy that has been contacted by several schools. He's a very high academic kid and has been invited to Harvard's camp and a couple other camps to go and showcase his talents. And matter of fact, Kylan will be gone most of next week visiting a couple of camps and trying to show people what he can do. Emmanuel Banjoko is a senior. He has one offer for us. He'll be a senior defensive lineman, and he's got interest from a couple other people.
To either of the players, since Coach talked about the difference in scheme and philosophy, really, as far as the offense is concerned, how much are you picking up on it? How tough is it? How easy is it to pick up on it? And are you enjoying the change?
Yeah, we're definitely enjoying the change in offense. Me being a wide receiver, I like airing it out a little more. And, it's a good balance. We got a lot of young guys like Cameron Hankins stepping up at a slot receiver. And, everybody's picking up on it pretty well. We just, got to get it blocked right and get the quarterback battle going a little more. But everybody's picking up on it pretty well.
And coming from a defensive standpoint, it's basically the same defense we ran last year, but more insight from Coach Bach coming from the University of Buffalo. He really has an in-depth knowledge of it, and since he's gotten here, we've gotten tenfold better.
Colton, how's the program changed from your freshman year to now going into your senior year?
It's changed dramatically. Most of us coming from the freshman class, now the senior class, used to be a joke to play football here, from hearing it from our friends, because we've transferred from other schools mainly. But now really we focused on ourselves, and now we're getting respect around the county, and it's feeling good.
What kind of traditions have you guys established here at Mountain View? Obviously, that's one of the cool things about being, part of a young program is kind of, establishing traditions and things you guys are going to do before game, after game, during the off season, things like that. What are some of those things you guys have developed?
One of the biggest traditions for the school as a whole is one of our songs from the band called White Chocolate, and it really gets us going, gets the fans involved, and yeah.
We're still. Oh yeah. We started a new tradition up last year. It's called Pride Night. It's a pretty fun event. We get to if you play a certain position, like the cornerbacks last year, we got to act out. One of our coaches, Coach Wood, he left this year. But getting to act out a skit as one of the coaches, it's a pretty funny deal. It's really fun. It's a lot of fun.
So in other words, you get to imitate the coaches.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Other than Mountain View, this is actually for Coach Ciccone. Other than Mountain View, who do you feel like is the favorite to win the
Norcross
region title?
you don't even have to finish the sentence. Obviously, they did such a great job last year running the table, and was so happy for Coach Maloof and the Blue Devils representing Region 7. But when you talk to people that aren't from Georgia and they start asking you about your region and where you compete, And for example, last year we had 3 teams in the Final 8, you know, and when you got 4 teams that make the playoffs and 3 are in the Final 8, and I really believe if things would have happened a little differently with a couple of those games, we could have had 2 to 3 teams in the semis. So I think Norcross is obviously the team to beat. They do a wonderful job. They got a bunch of great players. I really feel like North Gwinnett, Mill Creek, Peachtree Ridge, Collins Hill, you know, and there's a lot of parity in those other groups of teams. But you know, we're hoping that we can continue to compete and get better and challenge for one of those playoff spots.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.